moment, your captain speaking.
Hello.
On behalf of Thai Airways,
It's a
It's
video.
recording. Hello.
We are away, almost.
Whoop, whoop. Next up, Bangkok.
So my first target was to get on the plane to Thailand feeling still fit and healthy with no pain and having no drugs or painkillers. So mission achieved, onwards and upwards from here. Hang on just a minute. So why am I going to Thailand? At the end of part 1, I just had my first day of chemo and celebrated feeling a bit better with a greasy burger. Well, this is how the next 12 months unfolded. Feeling better than you did before is relative. I'd say I was still just a 2 out of 10. In October, November, my dad and sister had been staying with me. Then in November, December, my mate Paul from New Zealand replaced them. Their support was invaluable. My mindset at the time was I'd better get over to New Zealand to see family and friends for probably the last time. I aimed that trip between chemo rounds 3 and 4 between Christmas and New Year. So, first step, book flights. Then, find that passport has expired. Then, order new passport. Then, get concerned that new passport's been lost in the post with only 1 week until the flight. Order second new passport. First passport gets delivered 2 weeks late. Second, and now current passport, arrives with 2 days to spare. So Paul and I made the flight, and I got to see people I hadn't seen in years. A week later, I flew back with my brother, who would stay with me for 2 weeks. By the end of January, I had had 5 rounds of chemo and had gained 10 out of the 15 kilos I had lost. I had worked out how to minimise the chemo side effects, and overall I was feeling pretty good. So what else was there to do but buy a motorbike and get my licence? To monitor my condition, I would get 3 monthly PET scans. That's every 6 rounds of chemo. The first one since my diagnosis was in February. It showed a visible reduction in cancer activity and tumour size in the liver and lymph nodes. That's what made my condition so bad, by the way. Stage 4, meaning the cancer had spread beyond its primary tumour in the bowel. March was also positive. I was running and getting my fitness back again. April, not so good. I was in hospital with a fever for 5 days over Easter. The source or type of infection couldn't be found. In May, I had my next PET scan, and this now showed no active cancer in the liver or anywhere else except for the bowel. There was now talk that with another positive scan, possible surgery could be on the table to remove the primary. This was good news. Then, in June, 2 significant things happened. One of the chemo drugs I was on was having a cumulative effect and causing numbness in my fingers and toes, known as neuropathy. So that drug was cut from my treatment. Then I came down with meningitis and was in hospital for 2 weeks. Just like the fever at Easter, it couldn't be determined whether it was viral or bacterial in origin. Some of my symptoms were blurry vision, trouble speaking, and a partially numb face. Another of the drugs I was on has been known to cause similar side effects in very rare cases, so it was decided to also drop this one from my treatment. A few days after being discharged, I felt fully fit again, and this flowed through into July. Then in August, it was time for my next PET scan. I was looking forward to my 3rd positive PET scan in a row. Then surgery, then cured, done and dusted. Unfortunately, the scan showed renewed cancer activity in the liver. So my oncologist changed my chemo drug to something that my cancer was hopefully not resistant to. September, felt great. October, felt great. In November, it was time for the scan. I was a bit nervous of the result this time after having a poor result in August. This scan showed it had grown further in the liver and was now active in the lymph nodes again. So that chemo wasn't having the desired effect either. I was switched again, this time to some pills. These pills are not expected to cure, but just to slow the progression a bit, to buy some time. I couldn't think clearly for the next few days. I lost my direction and my future plans were evaporating. It's very strange to feel that you don't have a future. Lunch has come early. Smells really good. 10:40 it is now. So I wonder if we're going to have to go the next 6 hours without eating anything. Or 8 hours actually. Anyway, get it while it's hot. Now we're getting our temperature tested. Thank you. And I passed. So now what? Anything? Well, lucky for me, I have a friend Beth who knew about cancer patients travelling to a specific clinic in Thailand and whom many of them were getting excellent results. So, using her contacts, she quickly started to lay the groundwork for a last chance treatment option for me. I wanted to go as soon as possible, but had to get realistic as it was a complicated process, made far worse by COVID-19 restrictions of travel. So while this was happening, I had another scan to see how the pills were going. They were no help at all, and so the pressure I felt to get on that plane ramped up even further. This treatment, which I'll detail more once I start it, was by no means a slam dunk option. I didn't know how I would react to the treatment, or even if it was going to work anyway. I still don't know. So I was very grateful when Beth offered to put her life on hold for 3 months to travel with me as my carer. Physically and emotionally, I knew this was a good thing. Another 3 long weeks went by and we finally made it to Sydney Airport with our folders of documents. I'm not kidding. As you can see, we're very happy and relieved to be sitting on this aircraft. We're here.